Welcome to America's Commercial Real Estate Show. I am Michael Bull. The segment is brought to you by BOMI.org. They are the industry standard for facilities and property management training. Check them out at BOMI, that's BOMI.org. Well, today we're going to talk about something that's important to all of us in the commercial real estate industry. That's associations. Associations That Matter is the name of the show. One of my favorite associations in commercial real estate is CREW, Commercial Real Estate Women, and we're in treat. Have a treat for you today. We have Wendy Mann here. She's the CEO of CREW Network, the whole global organization here in Studio One. Wendy, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Michael. I'm so glad to be here today. Excited to talk with you about what we're doing.
Well, thank you. And first of all, if you will, how big is CREW?
So, great question. We are now 11,300 members strong, and 97% are women, and we have 3% men as members.
And I'm one of those
members. And you are one, yes.
Those members. And you're all over there. You're going global now?
We are. You know, we have 75 chapters in North America, and we've just recently launched our first global affiliate in the UK. And it's going well. It's slow going, but we are looking at really trying to connect all the women in commercial real estate around the world. So it's a long-term goal, and we're taking our time, but it's coming along, and it's very exciting.
Well, I got to tell you, I've done business with a bunch of CREW members, and every time I have, it's been a very pleasant experience, and I mean very professional people.
And that's one of the things that we brag about is that in our organization, unique to us versus other industry organizations, we represent all the disciplines. So we joke that you can do a deal from start to finish with a CREW member. So any part of that deal that you need, you can find at CREW.
Yeah, and you can, and that's no joke, right? And you know you're going to have good people. And I think with any kind of association as well, there's even more of a reason for the person who chose to do a great job, because the other members are going to hear about it, right?
Absolutely, and that is one thing you do. There's a lot of sharing among the members in the industry and the local markets, as well as in our greater network. Across the network.
And then the networking is a big part of it, to get to know people. So, tell us about your events.
Yeah. So, CREW Network, I think that it's important for people to understand that we're not just a women's organization. We're a business network. And so we pride ourselves on being able to giving and getting business to one another, and men who choose to be part of us. And a couple ways we do that are, we have an online community that is a very active community of conversation going on at any time. So for example, if you're in Atlanta and you have a client who wants to do a deal in Dallas, you can go on our online community and post and ask, I need a environmental consultant in the Dallas market for a client, or a lawyer, and within minutes you'll have 5 or 10 recommendations. And it just gives you the ability to quickly cut through to get what you need through that online community. So every day there's deals going on there, or business partners finding each other. And second to of course, our events. And we do 2 leadership summits per year, and that is when we bring our leaders from our local chapters together to learn, but we also offer professional development training for women and men. I'll keep throwing that in there. It's true. I mean, we focus on the whole, everyone within the organization. And then our big event is our annual convention. We have, this past year we had 1,300 attendees. I suspect we'll do that or more next year. In 2019, the best thing about that is that we're celebrating our 30th anniversary as an organization. So 30 years, 1989 is when we were founded, and we'll be in the Place of Magic in Orlando.
All right.
And so we'll be celebrating there at the end of September 24th through the 26th. And that really brings together a larger audience, a lot more networking, and some deep educational program on industry topics. And that's a great way for people to connect and meet one another across markets and really cross-pollinate.
Yeah, it would be a nice time to be in Orlando. And I had the honor and the privilege to speak at the Georgia chapter event, I guess it was here in Atlanta. So, so you have state chapters and they have events as well?
We do, yeah. So we are mostly in specific markets. The Atlanta chapter has been active. I want to say that they are actually older than the network overall. So they're older than the global organization, and I think they celebrated their 30th anniversary. There's local opportunities for leadership development, business networking, And then they have mentorship programs as well. So there's all kinds of things that you can get both in your local market as well as at the global level.
And we have some great female employees and brokers here at our shop. They're just fantastic. But when you look around the commercial real estate industry in general, you kind of see a lot of old white guys. You know, what's happening? What about pay and inclusion?
So, you know, one of our missions, Crew Network has a foundation, and as part of our foundation, we are the only organization that's really benchmarking women in the industry, and have we made progress in getting more women in C-suite roles and on boards and in leadership roles in the industry. And I got to tell you that, you know, we started doing this in 2005, so 2020 will be our fourth one. And there has been progress, but it's so small. There's so little that has changed, especially on the brokerage side, which is tough, right? The, you know, commission-based pay coming out of college, women, we found in our benchmark, they say they're less risk, willing to take the risk of having to be fully commission-based. So we know that there has been positive change, but the thing that I like to talk about with industry folks is that a lot of times they think of diversity and inclusion as an HR issue. And it is not an HR issue. And we have data to prove that. And there's other secondary data that says that it's a business imperative. Because if you do not have diversity in your C-suite and on your board, when your clients and your partners come to you and they want to work with companies that have those values, they're going to look elsewhere to companies that do see that diversity and inclusion. And there is one study, and I think it was from the McKinsey Institute, that said that boards that had gender diversity were more profitable. And I can't off the top of my head remember the percent, but I think that is telling that it is not just an HR issue. It really is a business opportunity for people in a business imperative.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So why should someone consider joining Crew if they're not a member?
So I think that being a part of this organization and joining as a member gives you a leg up on everyone else in the industry, because you will know people and you will have connections and contacts that you cannot get anywhere else. And the difference between us and other industry organizations, I believe, is that Crew is a very warm and welcoming organization. When you walk in the door, you will immediately have people asking who you are, why you're there, and what business opportunities you can give and get from each other. And that's our mantra, is when you go around the table at an industry meeting to introduce yourself and say, here's what I could give you as a business partner, what can I get from you? And we share that way. And I think that sets us apart from a lot of organizations. So I think that simply being part of a network where you are able to give business to one another, get business from one another, and elevate your own business within the process is really an advantage.
And that's a great advantage. And as you know, I'm into training and education. I have an agent training company, and I think it's real important that we're always learning. I think the days are gone where you learned and studied, and then you worked, then you retired, right? I think we have to do all three.
Absolutely.
What are some benefits of Crew there?
Yeah. So one of the big things that we're doing is our leadership training, and we launched in 2016 our first leadership certificate program, because we feel that if we want to build a pipeline of young women coming into the industry, we have a career program for the local markets that our chapters deliver. Crew Careers is a program for high school students. U-Crew is a program for university students, trying to really build that pipeline of interest. And then when you get to Crew and you become a member, you are eligible actually to participate in our leadership program. And that is a year-long program with Harvard and MIT professors teaching you about personal leadership, team leadership, and negotiation skills, which are all imperative in our industry. So I think we've set ourselves in a position to do the training that's going to really help move women forward in the industry.
Well, that's excellent, because I don't think my daughter is a senior at UGA, and I of course grew up with her, and you know when she was in college and high school, you know, and I meet all her friends. Several of her friends that are guys are thinking about commercial real estate or majors. But none of the women, it's like it doesn't cross their mind, right? So I guess this could help with that, so they can kind of get an understanding of it. It's not just commission-only sales. There's a lot of positions available.
Right, and that's kind of the beauty of Crew Network, too, that we represent all disciplines. And so when we do a careers program, you may have someone a woman who's an engineer, a woman who's a broker, a woman who's in asset management, a woman who's in loan banking and the loan finance side.
Law.
And law, and they all go in. And not only do you learn in a classroom kind of setting, but you shadow one of those women throughout the day. So it's a real life experience as well as kind of a training. And then the other thing that I would just say about Pipeline is that we are all responsible for helping to educate and get young people into this business, because there's not, people grow up and say, I want to be a fireman or I want to be a doctor. No one says, I want to be in commercial real estate.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we did as an industry, we all joined together, 25 industry associations, financially committed, and we built a website called careersbuildingcommunities.com, and that is out there for young people like your daughter's friends, where they can go, and it's an interactive website, so you fill out what you like to do, and once you figure that out, it says, okay, so if you like to do detailed kinds of things, you're interested in putting puzzles together, you might be interested in being a building engineer or something. So I highly recommend for anyone that's listening, check out careersbuildingcommunities.com, and it's a great tool to share with your children, your children's friends, or anyone who is thinking, what should I do with my life? And
all the associations involved, are they real estate oriented?
Yes, they're all real estate oriented. Okay. So, BOMA's involved, CCIM, Cornet, Associated Builders and Contractors. So the construction side's represented, engineering, legal, foreign investment, all of the associations that make up our world of associations. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I think it's a great tool for helping to build that pipeline.
Yeah, I know a lot of you listen to the show when you're driving or when you're exercising. So if you want that website, again, we'll have it on commercialrealestateshow.com, and we'll have it there. Wendy, great information. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I hope to be able to see you in Orlando.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Michael.
And thank you for joining us, and thanks for sharing the show. Be sure to join us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter. And until next week, be sure that you always lead, learn, and laugh, and join us for America's Commercial Real Estate Show.